Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. It's time for the final game of Fortune before we get to this ending at the end of this route. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. I guess we'll find out shortly, although the games do traditionally take 2 episodes, so maybe we'll find out next time. But anyway, let's get into it. We got cells, which is, you know, not promising. But apparently we're not meant to win this one anyway. We're meant to make Zeph win this one. I'm not too sure what the context behind that is at this stage, but I'm sure that will become apparent at some point. I'm not liking the look of this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you ready for this wonderful game that I've got planned for you? Belle, what's with the cages? Oh, these? They're for the game, of course. We're not going to be put in cages, are we? What? No, why would you think that? Because there are 4 cages. Well, why else would you have the cages? You'll find out soon enough. But seeing as you're all here, let me explain the rules of Off the Chain. Listen closely. Off the Chain is a game of facing death right in the face and seeing just how far you're able to test your courage. It's real simple. Each of these cages will hold a horrid monster that will tear you limb from limb if it reaches you. Lucky for you, the critters are tied onto a very strong and very short chains that'll keep them from reaching you. Oh, thanks. Of course you'd make the last game about us getting mauled to death by monsters. Well, at least we'll be safe in this instance, right? Exactly. But we're not here to be safe. We're here to have a fun, thrilling game. So, you'll each have a button that loosens the chain and allows the monster to get ever so closer to you. Why? You'll have 60 seconds to loosen the chain as much as you'd like. Why would we want to make a ravenous beast get close to us? So whoever has the monster closest to them is the winner? Something like that? Because the end of those 60 seconds, the person who's loosened their chain the least will have their chain break. And I assume that the broken chain will allow the creature to leap right at us. Correct. And don't worry, each monster will only go after the person that it's across from. So you don't have to worry about them getting to you. Also, if someone happens to get killed by their cuddly companion because they loosen their chain a bit too much, then that round ends. We'll be doing this for 3 rounds, and the last one alive will be the winner, of course. So it's about getting the monster as close to you as possible without actually being in range of getting killed. It's really a game of chicken. It's always the simple games that seem the most terrifying. Is there no easy way to bow out of this game without getting mauled and devoured by these things? No. You have 2 options, win or get torn apart. Damn it. I clutched my chest, imagining the pain I'd go through, and I could only hope that maybe it would go by quickly. Maybe Belle was being more ruthless because we didn't have the same drive as before, and was hoping our instinctual fear of pain might make up for it. So I'm guessing that we're going to have to stand still somewhere, so that we can't just walk back while pressing the button. Of course, you'll be glued to a spot on the ground, and you'll have a button right by your arm that you can press. Gotcha. And how will we know just how much slack we've given the chains? There'll be a monitor that shows just how much slack you've given in terms of meters. The monsters will start 100 meters away from you, and that number will reduce. Basically, whoever's the biggest number is losing. And what's the reach of the monsters? Reach? Yeah, what range can they, kill us? Well, you have to find that out and make a good assessment on what's safe and not. Great. Any other questions? Good, then I'll ask each of you to take a step onto these platforms. They'll keep you grounded. We each did as Belle asked, and the ground felt magnetic? I couldn't so much as lift my foot off the ground. There you are, nice and firmly planted on the ground. And as you can see, there's a little button to your right. A screen that shows each who's doing the best and who's doing the worst. Are you all ready? As ready as I think we'll ever get. I knew that a lot of terrible things would happen to me today, but getting mauled by a beast is not what I expected. Ugh. You never know what you get coming here. Well, let's raise the cages to show what you'll be dealing with today. Belle snapped her fingers and a monstrous animal appeared in each of the cages. A large black panther, an oversized crocodile, a ravenous-looking bear, and a large black and gold snake. The panther was the one across from me, Everett had the crocodile, Zeph was facing the bear, and Philip was nervously staring at the snake. Some of them looked a bit familiar. Hey, have we seen some of these before? These are my darling little pets. You may have met them a few times. Pets? Yep, the panther is Mimi, the crocodile's Mac, the bear is Coco, and the snake is Zizzy. Is that the same snake that constricted Laura earlier? Zizzy is just so affectionate, she loves to give hugs. Isn't that right, Zizzy? Oh, you're so cute, yes you are. The large snake licked Belle's cheeks with its fluttering tongue. They were just so full of love and be happy to share it with you. I don't think I want the love of whatever a giant bear has. Well, then you have to keep them properly tethered. So here we go. Some of those have longer ranges than others. I don't think that's fair. The snake has no range. Belle stepped out of the way and clapped her hands. Suddenly the gates opened up and the animals turned their eyes towards us. They strained against the chains, keeping them tethered. A timer lowered down from the ceiling, showing us just how much time we had left. So, should we just do nothing and let Zeph take the win here? True, we don't know what exactly will happen if we all tie though. Maybe Belle will just unleash the chains of all the animals at once. How terrifying. Well, that's what you gotta do. Unless you like the idea of going through these horrible games some more. Right. Then we'll try and have some solidarity in death. As much as I wanted to maybe slide my hand over to the button and loosen the chain on the panther, I didn't want to make things worse. I was gonna die here. I'd already come to peace with that. What I didn't come to peace with was the inevitable pain that was going to come from this. But before my fear could overtake my reason, the timer had nearly ticked down to 0. Zeph had already loosened his chain a bit, obviously because he was trying to win. Everett and Philip seemed to be content just staring at the brutes. Sure, it was scary, but they were probably gonna... Huh? Both Philip and Everett slacked their chains and their respective creatures moved ever so closer to them. Guys, what are you doing? Nothing, I still plan to die, but I might as well revel a little in your suffering before that happens. Christ, you're such an arsehole, you know that? Yes, say what you will. It won't change anything in the end. Classic Everett, always being a jerk. I turned to Philip, who was attempting to hide his face away. Everett, I get Philip, but what are you trying to play? I just need to know what was going on in Richard's head. It might lead to more suffering, but I just have to know. I understand, but come on. I don't want to have to go through more loops than I have to. I'm sorry, this is just something I have to do. Don't screw us over just because Richard did what he thought was right. See? Now this is what I'm talking about. This is the chaos that I love. A little bit of conflict really spices things up. You can't just leave well enough alone, can you, Belle? Nope, I love being hands-on. Speaking of, since you didn't even try to slack the chain, Clyde, you're gonna have to say hello to Mimi. She's been eager to see you again since last time. Oh shit, I thought that panther looked familiar. Belle walked up to the chain and snapped it in half with her hands. Go on, Mimi, have fun. The panther growled and began to approach me, murderous fury blazing in its eyes. Hey Mimi, no hard feelings about last time, right? You understand you're a smart cat, right? I didn't mean to burn you up. I don't remember that. Okay, I get you're not happy, but can you at least make it a clean death? I mean, you've got such a nice coat. It'd be bad if you got blood on... right across the neck. I collapsed to the ground and the panther sunk its teeth right into my throat. Well, that's good. That's quick. You know? We're not going to suffer too much. It could have, like, gutted us. The survival instinct took over and I thrashed trying to pry her off me. But with blood pooling in my throat and the vice-like bite she had, it didn't take long for Mimi to tear the life right out of me. For the better, I didn't want this thing attacking me for long. And as my vision faded and my strength melted out of my body, I was ready to fall back down into that comforting oblivion. Only a few more leaps to go. Almost there. But for now, rest and peace. Well, at least he kept his word. Now I have to deal with these two chuckle fucks. That panther thing is picking Clyde up off the ground and carrying his corpse back to its cage. Are you playing as Zeph now? Didn't look like it was eating him. Just taking him away from the rest of us. Might have been noble if not for the nasty blood trail it left on the floor. Alright, I've had my fun. You don't need to worry about me. Right. I looked over at the screen that showed our slack values. Mine was at around 95 meters. Phillips was at 93. You gonna really try and compete with me? Nothing against you, Zeph. I just need to know the truth. Fine, I'm not gonna make this easy on you. I never suspected that you would. Oh, Mimi has a little toy now. How cute. Well, I don't want the others to feel left out, so let's get the next round ready. With a snap of the fingers, Belle started up the next round. If Everett was going to keep his word, then he wasn't going to be an obstacle. But Philip, just how far would he be willing to go? The way I saw it, I had two ways of going about this. I could try and get a lead early and make Philip take some risks next round, or play it safe and catch up in the next round, in hopes that Philip screws up. Either way, it's going to take some courage. So, what am I going to do? Save. I'm going to save. Play aggressive. Let's see if the old man can handle some heat. Or in his case, some venom. I don't mind letting the bear get a bit closer to me if it causes Philip to freak out. I held down my hand on the button, watching as the number dropped. 90, 80, 70, 60, 40, 20, 10, 6, 5. By this point, the bear was close enough I could smell its hot, heaving breaths as it lunged towards me. Its claws were close to raking my face, but it wasn't close enough. I turned my head to see Philip try to match me, but as the snake slithered closer and closer towards him, he slowed down. He stopped the snake at around 7 meters away from him. What's the matter, Philip? Don't tell me you're spooked by a little snake. First of all, that thing is not little, and I'm in no rush. I can play catch-up easily. Good luck with that. Having fun over there? Not sure if you'd consider testing how close you are to can let a bear get to you was fun. I'm sure that's just what they just want to give you hugs and kisses. Laugh it up, you're going to be the next one to receive all that love. He sure was. As the timer came to a stop, he didn't even make an attempt to give his chain a little slack. Not that he was going to. He certainly will receive all sorts of love today, Everett. Mac is a big cuddler. Belle walked over and snapped the crocodile's chain right off. How exactly does a crocodile cuddle with its small arms and legs? With his tail, of course, but you're better off seeing for yourself. Everett sighed as he watched the crocodile quickly make its way over towards him. Of course, I'd get the one that can't grant a quick and easy death. Well, bring it on. Surprisingly, the crocodile made an impressive jump off the ground, and its claws clamped right onto Everett's neck. And with a sharp twist and painful crunch, the crocodile fell to the ground with Everett's disfigured throat in his mouth. So much for a slow death. Mac is a cuddler. He just couldn't wait to get up and close with Everett. Go on, Mac, have a good time with Everett. The crocodile slowly dragged Everett's corpse over to its cage and began to gnaw on whatever remains were left of him. And I see that you two are getting awfully close with your friends. Yeah, close. This will be the last round, so get your friends as close as you can. Don't be scared, they're not shy. Right. Belle stepped out of the way, clapped her hands and began the final round. Hey, your move, Philip. Philip stared awkwardly at the large viper lunging towards him as his hand shakily moved toward the button. Well, I just have to move it a tad bit closer. His words were as shaky as his hands. He was overwhelmed with fear and terror, but he was trying to fight it to the best of his ability. And I'd be right ahead of him. Whenever he touched that button, I would do the same. As long as I didn't die and I was ahead of him, that'd be good enough for me. Just a little bit more to get ahead. Philip finally managed to muster enough courage to lower the slack on his chain down to 4 meters. The snake lunged toward Philip, its fangs only managing to graze and scratch Philip's body as he attempted to lean back. Good gods. Please don't be venomous. The snake wasn't quite close enough to be lethal, but that looked to be Philip's limit. He pulled his hand away from his button and was focusing on not getting bitten. This was it. This was my moment. I glared at the bear in front of me. If I went down to 3 meters, I'd probably be able to grab a hold of my face and turn it into a bloody mess. But if that's what it took to win, then I'd let the bear tear a few new holes through my face. I didn't skip a beat and slapped my button, lowering the distance between me and the bear to 3 meters. The bear was quick to lunge forward and swipe its claws at my face. Even leaning back, I didn't manage to keep the bear from getting a good hit on my face. Fuck! The claws scraped against my skin and tore flesh off with murderous strength. No way that I could dodge it, I just had to keep my arms up and try to defend myself. But blow after blow, I couldn't hold much ground against its relentless attacks. It's just too damn strong, but I can hold out. I just have to hold out. I would have waited until like 1 second before the timer and then hit it a little bit closer. I tried to crane my neck to see if Philip had loosened his own chain at all. He's reaching for it. He's going to wait until the last possible minute to press his button. Slimy, that's what I would have done. Slimy bastard. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to back down. If you want to wait till the last second, I'll force you to grow a pair. I just have to keep my eye on the time and press it down right before it's up. Just have to hold out. Only a few more seconds. Just have to get to the end. My arm was weak, and I couldn't hold the bear's strikes much longer. Fuck. It swatted my arm out of the way and dug its claws into my face again. I couldn't open either of my eyes. There was too much blood dripping down. Too much torn flesh. I just had to hope that this was the right time. I leaned my hand down on the button, loosened the chain fully. Fuck. I couldn't see it, but I was sure the bear was going to fall on top of me and tear me to shreds. I could feel its hot breath only inches from my face. Damn it, damn it. Bad, no, stop, Coco. Don't give me that face, you know the rules. Now go back to your cage and wait. But, what's happening? I tried to rub my eye to see if I could tell what was happening. I could see the bear walking back over to its cage while Belle stared angrily at it. Poor Coco, so you get a love. But I can't even mauling my winner. So I won? You did, you brought your slack value all the way to 0. Right at the last second too, what a bold and daring move. And Philip? I carefully craned my head to see Philip's head hung low with dejection. He didn't touch his button. He must have been terrified of Zizzy. Which is a shame because Zizzy's all too eager to see you, Philip. I know. Philip sighed and dragged a hand down his face. Even now I'm still overcome with fear and cowardice. Some things just never seem to change. I'm so pathetic. Nonsense, there's no shame in fear. It's what keeps you alive and out of danger. Just not in this case. Belle stomped on the chain that was holding the snake back, and the large snake quickly slithered around Philip. The snake slowly constricted around Philip, pushing more and more air out of him until I could hear the sound of bones cracking. Well, he doesn't get to have a quick death. After a few seconds, Philip's body went limp and the snake dangled him around like a toy in its mouth. Zizzy's such a good hugger. But that's beside the point. Congrats on your victory, Zeph. Thanks, can you heal me up now? I can barely see and my arms feel like it's being torn to shreds. But of course. Belle crouched down to my level and blew a kiss toward me. A hazy blue mist wafted from her lips and enveloped me like a gentle fog. Soon my flesh began to knit itself back together and the blood faded away from my body and clothes. Even the pain was quick to subside. Ah, that's better. I slowly got up to my feet and dusted myself off. That's the good thing about these games. They're quick. A moment of panic, fear and adrenaline and then it's all over. And you move on. You just move on. You know the way, don't you? Yeah, of course I do. Same as last time, right? Yep. Belle clapped her hands and a door etched itself out from one of the walls. See you soon. Belle winked and disappeared into a cloud of blue smoke, along with the animals and corpses of everyone else. I was just alone. I sighed and walked over to the door. Here we go again. I pressed the door open and I was blinded by a bright white light. Warm. My entire body felt warm. That's right, it was sunlight. Warm sunlight that filled your body with energy. That gentle wind was cool enough to keep you from feeling burned. The grass that moved with the wind slowly swaying and brushing against your skin. Everything here just to give you a gentle rest and an even gentler awakening. Yeah, no more rest. It's time to get up. I opened my eyes, rubbing them lightly before jumping to my feet. Yeah, same as it ever was. And there's Belle, probably getting ready with that pot of tea she has. And right you would be, Zeph. Come on down, have a seat before the tea gets cold. Your tea never gets cold. Shut up and accept the invitation. I did as she said and walked over to her and sat across from her. She didn't waste a moment to pour me a cup of amber liquid from her teapot. Don't be shy, enjoy yourself to the fullest of this most wonderful brew. You loved it last time you came over here after all. Yeah, I was also a mess of a person after I came here the first time. And you had a different style of hair too. Do you like my new style? Yeah, anything you had was better than the puffs you had before. Excuse me, my puffs are amazing. Sure, whatever you say. I reached down and grabbed the teacup and brought it to my lips. This taste, it's the same as it was 4 years ago. Just as good. Sweet like caramel apples and a bite of peppermint. Reminds me of winter. What's the matter? You don't look all too happy. Is the taste off? No, the taste is fine, but it's just bringing back bad memories. How I made a poor wish 4 years ago and the fallout from it. The taste of the tea was one of the few good things that came out of that horrible mess. I imagine it would. How have you been these past 4 years? You were crying quite a bit the last time you made a wish. It's been rough, I won't lie. I felt that I betrayed Kishi and was going to be cast off, alone. I was terrified, even knowing Kishi was safe and alive, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But by her grace, I've been able to stick by her side. You know, it's one thing to be appreciative, but I hope you're not devoting your whole life and being to her. You are your own soul, free to follow your own ambitions and desires. I told you as much last time. Have you taken my lessons to heart? Well, I don't have a damn clue what your lessons are, but I will say that I've been figuring things out for myself. You can't blame me for latching onto Kishi after losing everything. My memory, my family, my motivation. You always did have something incomplete about you. I felt as though I had nothing. It's only natural that I'd hold on to Kishi with everything I had. She was the only light I had in my life. I suppose I can understand that. Kishi will always hold a special place in my heart. She's the foundation on which I'd built up this new me. She gave me direction in life. All I want to do is give the same thing to her. Freedom to decide what she wants to do. After that, we'll see where the road takes us. You two are hopelessly romantic. But that segues well into what I was going to ask. Where will the road lead you now, Zeph? What wish do you have in mind today? Belle took a moment to sip her own tea before pushing forward her pot of clovers. You remember the wishes, don't you? Life, death, mortality, immortality. My 4 wonderful wishes from which you all can choose. I remember them clear enough. Yes, but what are you going to choose? If I were to give any advice, I'd say pick what you want, regardless of what anyone else says or thinks. You want to kill Kana so that you and Kishi can ride off into the sunset? Hey, all the more power to you. I'll be cheering you on the whole way. You want to obey Kana's orders because you think it's funny? Go right ahead. But make sure that it's your decision. Nothing irks me more than granting wishes for people's proxies. Even though I don't really have a choice. I was severely disappointed with you in that regard, the last time you showed up here. I had long since made my decision. This was my chance at redemption, and my chance to give Kishi freedom. No threats were going to sway my conviction. I had to have faith. Somehow things would work out. I know they would. Belle, here's my wish. I want Kana Umishima to have immortality. Your wish is my command. Belle waggled a finger in the air before tapping one of the clovers in her pot. It glowed a faint blue, shining with a vibrant hue before returning to its normal green. And so, my fate is sealed. Is it now? Yep, whatever happens after this point is out of my control. Nonsense. There's so much you can do even after this, Zeph. Why didn't he make that choice last time then? He can't threaten to kill Kishi if she's immortality. If she has immortality. Wish is a power, yes, but there's a lot you can do outside of my realm. I mean, really, do you think you've made it this far if you just put blind faith in others? Well, no, but nothing. You gotta hold your head high and do what you think is right. Even if it ends up being the absolute worst thing you could ever choose to do. Don't encourage me to make my own choices and then say something like that. But it's a possibility, just like the possibility you might make the best decision possible. There are so many possibilities to throw your hands up and leave it to others seems wasteful. And very unlike you, I might add. I hate when you're right sometimes. Can't help it, I just know the right things to say to get people riled up. But I will say, to be prepared for anything. That's way too much to be prepared for. Alright, you mortals have such limited mental capacity. Well, prepare for what you think you can prepare for. That way, no matter what happens, you can at least be at peace with whatever result you get. Fair enough. I leaned back in my seat and finished off the tea. We're almost done. Only a few more loops to go, and then this will all be over. Yep, only a few more. I'm starting to get sad. I've grown so attached to this group. When am I ever going to see you again? Ideally, never. So rude. You don't even want to entertain the idea of seeing me again? Seeing you twice in one lifetime is more than enough. Kishi and I have been through enough pain, and seeing you is only a reminder that we've got more pain to go through again. I don't even want to see you in my dreams. Oh, you're breaking my heart, Zeph. I thought we had something special. I'll just have to come visit you and assuage away those nasty feelings. Please no. Well, at least hope that there's some happy memories to remember me by when I'm gone. When you're gone? What do you mean by that? Are you planning to leave or something? I don't want to spoil the surprise, Zeph. But let's just say that this year is very special for me, and my siblings. Just know this, no matter what happens today, I'll remember you all fondly, and you'll all hold a special place in my heart. As I hope to hold a special place in your soul. What do you... My words were stopped as heavy fatigue washed over my body. Christ, now of all times? Relax, Zeph, you need a break. You don't need to worry about a thing until later. Until then, rest for now. You've worked hard these long, long years. You're almost done. I know that, but... What the hell is going on? A spectacle. I couldn't finish my sentence as fatigue overwhelmed me. I just wanted to ask a few more questions, get a few more answers, but my body failed me, and my eyes closed shut. Maybe it wasn't worth worrying over. After all, I did all that I could from here. I don't need to worry about whatever the hell Belle was talking about, probably. Kishi and I, we're going to get our freedom. And I'm going to make up for past mistakes and for lost time. This life is mine to live. Zeph end. A lost life, a firm faith. Boom. We did it. A metal destruction left a blank slate. For love and compassion, he would wait. Yet when not a single soul arrived, his heart sank from affection deprived. He latched onto a ray of hope, hoping she'd be his light. Devoted to a fault, he became her protector, her knight. But such a love is easily manipulated, and he found her under threat. The only way was to betray his love and get caught up in a vile net. But once he fell, he rose again to prove the result won't be the same, and attain his freedom within this game. Back again for round 2, Zeph, to prove something to yourself, to the ones you love, to the one threatening you. Be as bold as you must be to soar to the freedom you desire and reclaim the life you used to have. Place faith not in others, but in yourself. Learn a lesson once, study it twice, and you'll have ingrained it in your soul forever. But we still have a few more lessons to teach, so let us begin again. I felt my head ache for a moment as the flash left me disoriented, but when I readjusted, the room was the same as it was before. The only difference now was that Belle was gone, and that the first door had opened up. Alright, now we've got things started. Who's going where? Huh? Well, were you not paying attention? We're going to split into 4 groups, 4 groups of 4, you know? 4 people for each room. Right. So I was asking where people wanted to go. Any room preference or anything like that? Maria and I will be going in the last door. What? How are you going to say that without asking me first? Well, do you have any better ideas? I mean, if you want to go through the last door, that's fine. We can go through the last door. Is that all skippable now then? They started to chat idly as if there wasn't a care in the world. Like they weren't going to be playing for their lives. Alright, so we got room 4 taken care of. That leaves 3 more. As I listened to Zeph trying to organise the groups, I felt Devon tug on my arm. Hey Clyde. Her voice shook me out of my stupor. What's up? I think we should stick together. Okay, well, I have a plan to work through the paths. So my usual strategy, at this, I'm going to save. So my usual strategy is to go from the flowchart and work my way back to the most recent deviation, which would be here. So we can come down this path, and then we'll move back to here, and come down this path, and then we'll come back to here, and come down this path, right? That way we can do it systematically, because that's kind of my style here. So yeah, from here, I think, seeing we're back up like here, we might as well just jump back here, and we'll carry on from this bit. So what is the choice here? Join them in door 1. So we're going to pick door 2 here. Join Zeph and Kishi in door 1 or Alphonse and Maria in door 2. Okay. Alright, we're going to pick Alphonse and Maria, and we're going to carry on from there. Let's join up with Alphonse and Maria. Can't get enough of old Al, huh? I just figured he's our best chance of getting information here. He doesn't seem like the type that would just throw away his life for no reason. In a place like this, well, chances are you're going to throw your life away at some point. So I think we're better off following him and seeing if he knows something that'll help us out. Alright, I'll follow your lead. Mainly because I think Maria is nice and I'll be happy to hang out with her. Well, she's free to have her priorities. We're going to join up with Alphonse and Maria. Hear that, Alphonse? They like us. Would it kill you to smile? That'd have been Richard and I joining Kishi and Zeph. Yep. Alright, we got all the groups properly ordered out then. Seems to be the case. Let's get going. Hopefully we'll see some of you on the other side. And if not, well, good luck and good fortune to you in the future. The 4 entered into the game door with a quiet creak. They were locked in for whatever mad game Belle had in mind for them. And the rest of us would wait. So we're going to be partnered up for the next game. I'm kind of excited, to be honest. Should you be? You two seem like nice people, unlike some of the other jerks around here. It'll be fun to play together. You do realise we might end up killing one another, right? Yeah, but at least with you two, I'm sure that it won't be that bad. You don't know that for sure. I think it'll be fine too, Clyde. Maria seems really nice. Yeah, come on, my sweet charming smile could disarm an assassin. You speaking from experience? Oh yeah, a couple of ninjas broke into my place one time and I just flashed them this big old grin. It was enough to make them renounce their ways and leave without a drop of spilled blood. Sounds to me like we'd have no shot of winning if your smile is that strong. Only if you played against me. I hope that the assassin at least paid for any broken locks or windows. They were professionals, so they didn't break anything. Probably just unlocked the door with like some tools or something. I don't like how casual she's saying this. I know it's a joke, but she almost makes it seem real. And I guess Alphonse would be the type that could scare off an assassin with a glare. That's mean. Alphonse isn't all that scary. I beg to differ. The guy's got a mean scowl. It's not his fault that his face is just like that. I mean, it's kind of cute in a way, don't you think? I can't possibly understand what you mean by that. There's nothing cute about a guy whose mug can make somebody shit themselves with a frown. I didn't even notice Alphonse had been listening close by. Oh shit, Alphonse, oh god, please don't punch me in the face. Sorry about my mug. He walked away to the kitchenette. Oh, you hurt his feelings. See, he's a sensitive guy deep down. It ain't right to judge him just because he's got a bit of a scary face at times. That's what makes him cute. I guess I can see what she means. Like a pit bull. Poor guy. Hope he hasn't scared off too many people. He's alright, I mean, once you get to know him, he's really sweet and a nice guy. You really like speaking highly of him. Well, what's not to like? He's strong, brave, smart, hell of a good detective. Might even be too good. Too good? How do you end up being too good at your job? Was he obsessed with his work? Well, a little. It's more like he's so good that he makes enemies. Oh, kind of like when you dig too deep into something that you find out something you shouldn't. Yeah, like that, except that he finds something that, if he finds something he shouldn't, he just digs deeper and deeper until he found out more stuff. The guy's real determined, to say the least. That doesn't sound like a bad trait, just sounds like it could get him into danger. Though I guess it depends on exactly who he's investigating. You're making it sound like he's a detective in one of those old crime dramas. He's got the look for it, don't you think? A grizzled middle-aged man that has had a dark and tragic past that haunts him to this day. Has he had a dark and tragic past? Well, maybe. I don't know much about, like, his childhood or anything. But I mean, anyone that works in that kind of field probably has to see a lot of nasty shit. Like missing people, broken families, murders, friends suspecting friends. You gotta be tough to get through that. At least I'd think so. Yeah, I guess that anyone who deals with trauma and depressing things like that would need a way to cope. Sounds like it's a hassle. Jade had eased in on our conversation as though he was there all along, trying to sneak into the conversation. Sneak? No, this is just where the life of the room is at. Alphonse, Grant, and Everett aren't exactly the most talkative and fun group to be around, you know? Fair point. Well, we're not talking about anything all that crazy. Just old detective stories. And how they cope with it? Yeah. Well, what does Alphonse do after a long day of work? He likes to watch sports. That's it? I mean, there might be more, but that's all I've really seen. In detective shows, they've always got an alcohol addiction. Isn't that how they deal with it? If you're asking if he drinks a ton or goes out to de-stress, I think that he's more of a loner. Does he have issues making friends? Nah, he's just a private person, you know, introverted and all that. I'm sure he goes out from time to time, but he kind of gets his relaxation from doing his own thing. I bet you're the opposite. Oh yeah, I can't stand being alone for too long. I just like being around people, especially if I can help them out. I feel you, I'm a bit of a socialite myself. Though I always end up getting dragged around to events and meetings that are always a bore. Oh well, it's the price for having such high charisma. If it makes you feel any better, it's not working on me. Give it time and you'll see. He has boundless confidence. Doubtful. If I had to make a guess, Clyde's definitely more the introverted type, and Devon, I bet you're the extrovert as well. You got me. Same here, though maybe not as extroverted as you are, Maria. I know how to take it easy. Hey, I know how to take it easy too. But just make sure you don't take it to an extreme degree like Grant does. What do you mean? Look at the guy, Clyde. He's about as quiet and introverted as a hibernating bear. And just as dangerous if he really did kill someone. I was going to ask, what's Alphonse's deal with Grant anyway? He said something earlier about making the pieces of a puzzle fit or something. Does he know the guy from somewhere? Oh, he said that? Well, I guess that might just be his perfectionism kicking in again. He wants to see the full picture of what happened 8 years or so ago. Grant had a role to play in some shady stuff that went down back then. Really? Are you sure we're talking about the same Grant here? I'm positive. I mean, he does look a bit different, but I'm sure it's the same guy. So did he actually kill someone? I mean, he sounded like he was admitting to it, but... Yeah, he did. But probably not in the way you're thinking. What other way could we think? You'll find out eventually. Well, you probably will. I don't get anything that these people are saying. For once, it looked like Jade didn't have anything to say. Maybe he was just thinking about the idea of Grant being a killer, though he didn't seem to be so bothered about it before. Maybe hearing it from Maria made it more real for him. Oh, looks like it's showtime. We turned to see that the second door had opened up. Al, time for us to go. Well, at least there was an upside to knowing Alphonse wasn't really all that bad a guy. He was nice and honest enough in the last game, though it was somewhat simple. Alright, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today, but we got our first ending, so that's pretty huge. As I said, we're going to try and do it systematically, as is the way I've done pretty much every game with multiple endings, especially ones that have a true ending that you have to get to by getting all the other endings. So, this one won't take too long to get to compared to the last one, and then obviously we'll move back and back and back, but until next time, thanks for watching, Press, and I'll see you then.